Joining us this morning via the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline, Shreveport City Councilman James Flurry is here. Hey, Mr. James, welcome to Keel. How you doing?
Good morning.
So you had the committee meeting yesterday, the Finance and Audit Committee, I guess is the official name. And who did you meet with specifically yesterday to sort of help you break down to get inside that audit of city finances?
Well, we were given a PowerPoint view plus a hard copy. We met with Carr Riggs, who is the external auditor of the city of Shreveport, who prepared the audit, and they've been doing the audits for several years now, and probably will continue on, but the RFP will be put out for it. But anyway, they brought us the hard facts on the audit, and that's what we're doing in the Audit and Finance Committee.
I assume for the moment, that you had sort of, if you hadn't looked at it yourself, you'd at least gotten sort of an outline or talked to folks who had seen it. I guess let's start with the bad news. Was it as bad as you thought it might be?
Yeah, it was probably pretty much what I expected based on what I'd been able to kind of. I've been hearing a lot of different things, but it was confirmed, and yeah, it's not good.
Okay, Councilman Flurry, you have gone on record as saying that much of this should fall at the footsteps of the finance director, Mr. Madden, and that you may ask for a vote of no confidence. Is it time for Mr. Madden to resign?
Yeah, Mr. Madden should have resigned last year. We had a situation in 17, I believe it was. I went to Mayor Tyler and Brian Crawford and asked them to fire Charles Madden based on the fact that we had $1 million check to come from Baton Rouge from the retirement, and it was placed in the drawer of an individual's drawer. It stayed there for a year, and this.
Wait, pardon me, Mr. James. Pardon me. So we received in the mail a hard copy check from the state of Louisiana for $1 million, and it wasn't deposited for a year?
Yes, and no one was fired, and that's Charles Madden's responsibility. He is the director of finance, and so when we saw yesterday multiple missteps, and they all fall back at the foot of Charles Madden, and he is the director of finance. Charles doesn't want to tell us a lot. He's a quiet man by nature, but he doesn't want to tell us a lot. Now, we walked around and told, we kept hearing about and I heard it on Keel Radio. The fact about the banks, our money in the banks wasn't covered. We kept hearing that, and, we heard that. But the fact of the matter was we were covered. But Charles Madden didn't even do the courtesy of letting me know as chairman of the audit. I told him yesterday, if you didn't want to talk to me, all you had to do was write Chairman Bowman of the council. He would have notified the audit committee. But we've been sitting here telling our constituents, no, we had our neck in the ring on this money in the bank. We didn't have it collateralized like the agreement. But the fact of the matter was, that's not true. We had made an agreement with the bank in the very beginning, and he has a copy, Charles Madden has a copy of the letter where they maintain collateral on our excess money over the $250,000 that the FDIC insures. But see, we were all walking around telling our constituents, voters, hey, we got a problem with just letting you know. But that wasn't true. But Charles Madden chose not to tell us.
Okay.
He wanted to keep us in the dark.
Mr. Flurry, it's the mayor's job to hire and fire his department heads. Would a vote of no confidence be overstepping your bounds? Council can't essentially fire him, right?
Well, the charter does allow for an investigation, and he can be removed. But here's what's going to happen. I'm going I think some other councilmen, I believe, are going to join in on a vote of no confidence. We have to, it's long overdue that we have to stand up and say this is not acceptable. Now, Charles has kind of got us in a pickle because we're starting the budget process, and he's got a lot of this stuff down in his head, and nobody else seems to know. And that's very unfortunate. You don't run a business like that. You let people cross-train, and so he's kind of got us over the barrel, they say. But I say, God help us if he was to become ill or something, because we won't have nobody to operate the city finance department.
Mm-hmm.
But you know and I know that we would get through it somehow, somewhere. So we can't let him hold us hostage.
Getting
He
back
needs to go.
Getting back to the particulars of the audit and your get-together yesterday, your meeting yesterday, one of the things that has come up repeatedly is the $189,000 check that was written to the state to cover fines that the state eventually sent back, I guess. But it was a $189,000 check that was written, and the then assistant CAO, Ms. Jones, the CAO, Mr. Crawford, and Mayor Tyler, none of those three were aware that check was written. Did that come up? And if it did, what did you find out?
Oh, yeah, it came up because Councilman Nicholson asked him, did the mayor authorize you? Did you tell the mayor? He said no. Did you get the approval to write that check? No. He was a one-man band up there, and he was operating without any oversight and any. I guarantee you, Mayor Tyler didn't know it, and you know she was the mayor, but she can't. You know, every little detail she has to rely on her director. And one thing you don't do if you're a supervisor or director, and you know this in your business there, you better let that person above you know if you got a problem. They don't want to be caught by surprise.
Mr. Flurry, have you expressed your displeasure about Mr. Madden to Mayor Perkins, and what has that reaction been?
Well, I'll answer you this much. I don't want to get in too much what we're talking about, but here's the deal. Charles Madden's got to go. And so if we got to put pressure on, that's what we're going to do. But they have placed some people up there to try to help. Going forward, because see, we're fixing to get 2019 started on that audit, and that's going to be on Mayor Perkins. Mm-hmm. And so they've been trying desperately to get these deficiencies that the audit has pointed out corrected. And believe me, they have. They've
Mr.
got
James,
oversight
pardon me just a second. You said put some pressure. You mean put pressure on the mayor? And could you define pressure for me?
No, I'm not. I'm talking about because the mayor. No, there's no doubt in my mind he knows where I stand on it. He just hadn't responded. But here's what I'm saying. I'm telling you that we're going to do a vote of no confidence. The council will have an opportunity. I don't know we'll get all 7 votes. Some of them probably won't vote, maybe 1. But I believe we'll have 6 that'll vote and say, look, it's time for a change. And we'll see what happens then. And then we'll look at Plan B if we don't get anything satisfactory resolved there.